Good morning.
Morning. How's everybody doing this morning?
Very good. Good weekend. Looks like lots of rain this coming week. How about you, Chris, out in your place?
Yeah, it was really windy about half of the day yesterday and most of the night. And yeah, it's pretty dreary and overcast. It's supposed to start raining here around 2, I think.
Yeah, pretty
And
good.
then it's supposed to rain for like the next 3 days straight.
Yeah.
So we'll
Hopefully
see.
this last big one looks like back up to the 70s maybe after that.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Heather.
Morning.
Oh, Angie said good morning too.
Good morning,
Nadia
Angie.
said good morning. And somebody from an iPhone said good morning.
Morning, Nadia.
Morning, Danny.
Did you get that signature back on that counter offer?
I did. Now I just need to sign it and separate it. Shannon's going to help me with it today.
All right. Yeah, and Denise as well. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep, congratulations.
With everybody's help, I've been bugging every single person.
That's fantastic.
Yep. Morning, Angie.
Hey, Nadia, by the way, I forgot to ask you, where did you get your buyer client?
Opsity.
All right. Love it.
Woohoo!
15-day escrow, right?
Correct.
Yay.
Was
Hey,
that
Rosa.
on the land, Nadia?
Morning, Rosa.
What was that, Angela?
Was that for the land client?
Yeah, but
Okay.
not the land one that I asked you about.
Okay, cool.
Very nice.
Morning, Shannon. All right. So good. We got some newbies in the house. We got some experienced agents.
While we're giving another minute or whatever, anybody have any success stories on your texts from last week, or if you've been doing them over the week? You could just unmute yourself.
Yeah, I just check up on them, but I don't really mention anything about real estate. So, yeah, I'm just checking up on them, basically.
Good. Are you getting responses back from them even though?
Yeah, they're saying they're good, and we have a little conversation.
Yeah. Very
Is that
good.
the point?
Yes. Just
Yeah.
engage.
Mm-hmm. Shannon's been getting responses as well. She put in the chats.
So is Kathy.
Is Kathy hiding around the corner this morning?
Yeah, she's still wrapping up a little bit of business.
Cool.
One of her clients invited us over the weekend to go to the parking lot church revival, if you would, where everybody sat in their cars and the pastor was on the microphone in the middle of the parking lot giving the whole sermon. So it's pretty cool. Every time he asked if you could get an amen or hallelujah, and everybody's honking, like crazy. So I called it honkalooya.
That's pretty funny.
I read that Bible sales are up 150% this morning.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I'm still getting over this head cold. That's why I have myself on mute.
Yeah, Kathy and I both got a little of that. Seems like I got through mine pretty quick. She's still lingering after a week.
Yeah, same with Mike and I. He had it 3-4 days, pretty well over it, and I'm like pretty beat up by it.
It's now mute. Now it's mute. Hello.
Hi, Sammy.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I actually have 2 sellers who want to meet, and I've put them off saying I don't want to come to their house while I'm symptomatic.
You guys were talking about the rain up here in high desert, sunshine.
Wind and sunshine.
Well, Chris, I guess we're into this about 6 minutes. You want to go ahead and launch us? Can't hear you.
All right, let's get going here. Sammy, I'm going to mute you until we get going. If you got a question, though, definitely unmute yourself again. All right. We had been getting a bunch of requests over the last week or so specific to Business Builder. And being in the same vein of mailers and keeping in touch with your clients, I wanted to go through some Business Builder stuff with you, show you guys specifically how to add somebody to a campaign. And we'll go through and we'll make someone a guinea pig. Linda Thomason's here, so we can send her some stuff, start her on a campaign. But I've had a few requests, and Donnie has as well, to go over it. So that is what we are going to do. Oh, good morning, Mr. Knight. I didn't see you down there.
Morning, Mike.
All right.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, morning.
Morning, morning.
Let's see here. Let's move my screen over here. All right. So this is the main page of Business Builder. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good.
Yes.
Everybody see that? Shows contacts, new contacts, upcoming reminders. See that on the
Screen
screen?
share's working good.
Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to take this from assuming that you've put contacts into your database. Hold on, let me admit Maria Castillo real quick. We're going to take this on, you've already put contacts in here. So what we would do is go to marketing. You go to Marketing Center. Okay. And down here in the middle of the screen, you see Design Library. We would click on Campaign Templates. And we're going to get 57 results. If you don't want to look through 57 results, you can go here on the left under Collection and choose what you're specifically looking for, whether it be setting somebody up on a home anniversary campaign, birthday campaigns, you have somebody interested in buying Century 21 newsletters. Commercial is currently under construction. They are finishing that up, but once that goes live, I'll let you guys know, and then all the commercial folks will be able to send out commercial newsletters as well. General prospecting, you have a whole section for Hispanic market. Past clients, I can set up drip campaigns for recruiting purposes, and then you have seller prospecting. So one of the, let's see, Linda Hoffson and David. We'll wait a second for them to get going here.
Hey, Chris, do you mind clicking on maybe the prospecting tab under that in the collection?
Seller prospecting or buyer?
General prospecting. What does that look like?
General prospecting. Why choose me? This one's actually a print campaign.
Okay.
So if you need stuff for direct mail, down here, sorry, I did that really fast. Show campaign step details on any of the campaigns you choose. You can see every single step, what it looks like. If you don't like that step, you can take that step out. You can edit that step. You can add a phone call. Let's say between step 1 and 2, you wanted to set up a phone call. There's inside of that, you're able to edit that and add a step to remind you to make a phone call. So this particular one's a print that you can set up. That's really good. Let's let Debbie Reed in here. Having a lot of people showing up.
Good.
It's good. All right, so let's do buyer prospecting. Okay, so let's just select this first-time home buyer one. We can look in here first real quick. And this would be the first email. Obviously, it's branded to you, but this would be the first email sent out. So let's go here, choose this template. So this is the first-time home buyer email template. You can also edit the name if you don't like the name, which is kind of cool. Review and configure steps. Remember I talked about how you could add a step. You can add a step along the way for you to send them an email, to check in with them, make a phone call. It'll remind you of all of that. Any questions so far? Please unmute yourselves and ask. Want this to be as interactive as possible. Anybody?
So on this, since we're going to just maybe to help everybody a little bit on this first-time home buyers, so you're not necessarily going to send this to all of your prospects. So
You
Chris,
you can choose.
Separate that.
Yeah. So if you minimize this, yeah, or not. Yeah, it's not working. We'll just go down. All right, we'll just save and continue here. Okay. So at this point, step 3 is add or remove contacts. So when you add or remove contacts, it's obviously the first thing it's gonna do for me is pull up all my groups. Or here's contacts. So we're gonna select Linda Thomason. She likes to get emails. So then you would save changes. Next step is review and activate. You have made edits that have not been saved. Okay. Okay. Save and continue. Okay, now we're good. All right, make sure Linda's saved in there. All right, review and activate. So once a contact completes this campaign, you can automatically select them to go into something else. So here are your choices if you wanted to. I won't subject Linda to that. So I've reviewed this campaign and its recipients. I agree that all email recipients have opted in to receive email from me and are not harvested or purchased lists. All right. And then right here, you would activate campaign.
Got a question in there, Chris, from Shannon?
Yeah. Let's see. Where's my chats? They have to accept before you can set them up on additional campaigns. So what you're going to get, you've obviously talked to this client, you know, would you mind me sending you some information? They say, yes, you're okay to do that. At any point, they can unsubscribe and you'll get an email saying they've unsubscribed. So unless you go in there and edit that, it won't let you set them up on any other campaigns. What is harvested? Donnie, do you know what harvested
Yeah,
means?
it's acquired. I have a third party that I can search out emails for and so forth. So I'm harvesting or scabbing them from someplace else.
If you notice, once it set up this campaign, it now goes to my campaigns in the top left here. And these are all the campaigns that I currently have going on myself. I've got a holiday marketing to some family. I have actually have a first-time homebuyer one set up for my cousin. And then now I have brand new Linda assigned on first-time homebuyer. And then I have a lot of the agents on birthday campaigns. And then these are some of the other generic ones that are automatically going to be in your feed that you guys can turn on and off from here, and it will take you through the same steps that I just went through. Any other questions, comments? If we need to go back over anything, I will gladly do that. We can go through anything else inside of Business Builder. If I get enough, questions about it, we definitely can do a separate Business Builder training.
Yeah, so hold on right there, Chris. When I first saw your holiday marketing, my first instinct, if you would, and maybe it's just a bit selfish, is that, I'd love to put everybody on a holiday campaign because that's just cool and that's what we celebrate. But we don't all celebrate holidays. So I think you should be aware of that. Maybe sometimes during your conversation with your client, something comes up about a holiday and you have a partial conversation about that perhaps, then you're able to kind of make a side notation for inclusion or not in this particular category. But, I think for many of us, we kind of forget about that sometimes. There's a lot of people don't celebrate holidays at all. So just kind of wanted to throw that out there for you.
Yep, and that's why I only have 17 total people on it, because I do have some friends that's not a thing. So I don't want to irritate them by just generically putting them on it.
Is a drip campaign used for people that are like not so interested, or somebody who wants to buy in like a month?
Well, I guess you could consider any of these drip campaigns. It's the whole point is to stay in contact with your sphere of influence, whether they've purchased from you before, they'll never purchase from you, whatever it is. I know you guys have heard me talk about it takes anywhere from 35 to 40 touches a year for somebody to remember who you are and to actually refer you business. So this is one way to get in touch with people and have multiple touches throughout the year.
Yeah, and it's automated. So, once it's set up, you really just let it kind of run in the background while you're doing other business.
Yeah. And you can set this up to be not as completely automated. You can go into the holiday marketing, and every couple holidays you can put in there a reminder, and it will email you, hey, you need to call this group. And you can set in there that you're going to call every single person on your list if that's something that you want to do. Anything from Mike or Angie? I know you guys use variations of Business Builder and Buffini.
Yeah, I have a question for Angie, maybe, because you probably have quite a large list. Do you have your groups potentially set up, let's say as buyers, and this might help Nadia a little bit also, or others? Do you have buyers set up in a hot buyer category versus a warm category, or maybe even a pre-qualified category?
I'm not sure if she can hear you.
Oh,
But yeah, definitely depending on your client, you can customize these campaigns. Keep in mind, an email campaign isn't what's going to close the business for you. I think it was Nadia that asked that question a second ago. The point of this is just to stay in front of them, to have them see your name, to have them see content from you on a regular basis so they remember who the heck you are. Any of these campaigns, whether it's Business Builder or Zap or Buffini or Top Producer or fill in the blank, they're all designed to be used in conjunction with one super magic bullet, which is a phone call from you. So you can get in there and if you've got some custom stuff, yeah, you can have hot buyers and you can have, long-term, or you might have, a separate list for your investor clients. And you can customize it like that. But the biggest thing is to make sure that in conjunction with whatever you're sending them, you're staying in contact by phone, so that they remember, who you are in addition to seeing your information online.
yeah, and I saw your comment there, Nadia. Yes, you're right. You want to stay in touch by both, by email, by text, by phone. But like Mike says, everything really leads up to that personalized call as well. So I'm thinking, some of the groups just off the top of my head might be for sale by owners. And so these are going to take several touches and then a reminder for a phone call after X amount of touches, like most of your groups. Or perhaps somebody that says they're not interested right now, but they may be later in the summer. You're still staying in touch with them so they don't fall in the crack. And when it does come time, you're still touching base verbally as well in between, but those moments where we're not talking to them directly, here comes the reminder. And even for some of those who are thinking about selling later on, maybe some of the best tips to send them that are pertinent would be things on how to clean up their home, or spruce it up, or declutter it, or paint the fascia board in the front door, or just get the trash or the weeds out of the yard, whatever it is, as they're waiting to come online, that you've already prepped them ahead of time for this kind of stuff. So it's good conversations to have with them along the way. Also, maybe you're following up in a few weeks from a couple of contacts with them. Hi, Bob, it's Don over at Century 21. Hey, just touching base with you again. Just want to make sure you've been getting some of those great notes that I've been sending over to you that will be helpful for you when you're ready to market, and try to engage them in that conversation, because otherwise we'll just have lag time later on. If that particular issue is an issue, why not work on it now, and especially now? What a great time to declutter right now when everybody's kind of forced to be at home.
Hey, Don, I had one thing I wanted to mention too. You were talking about these different kind of campaigns. I'm just curious from everybody, and you can chime in or send by chat or something. How long should you continue to try and follow up with a non-responsive lead?
I was literally just going to ask that.
Okay, so what do some folks think? How long should you try to follow up with a non-responsive lead?
Personally, I'm thinking 6 months minimum.
Okay. Anybody else? What else do we think?
Yeah, my philosophy is that if you set them up on a drip campaign, meaning it doesn't require, it's automated after they've been unresponsive for 6 months or so, but keeping them on drip campaigns until they unsubscribe. Because if they'll receive my stuff, then I'll send it forever. But I'm going to downgrade them from getting my personal attention if they're non-responsive, because there's always a potential that they'll have a need or pass along their information, and we actually have seen that happen. It's not a high percentage, but if it's automated, what's the harm in leaving it automated until they unsubscribe?
Anybody else? Linda or Dave or Sharon? Anybody else?
Linda Jansen popped in and said 6 months.
Okay. Anybody else?
Mike, I'll leave. Go ahead.
Personally, if I'm putting no effort into it and it's done through email, I'll just allow it to keep on happening until they do respond, because I'm not supposed to, or my job isn't to create a need for them, but to be there when they actually have a need.
Perfect.
Okay. Linda, what do you think?
Well, I just had one come up from probably 4 years ago from an open house, and he popped in yesterday, and he had a question on a piece of property. It costs you nothing to leave them on. You can go in and you can see who's opened your emails. And this is part of your database cleanup. If people are not opening your emails, sometimes from an open house, they won't give you a correct email address. Those are the people to purge. But I just remember, I can't remember her name, when she came out and talked about Zap. She said that most of these people that go online will incubate for up to 2 years. So I think 6 months, maybe a little bit too soon. And like Alga said, it doesn't cost us a thing to leave them on a drip campaign. And, they will come back eventually. Somebody always has a change in need, and it may not be a 6 month period of time.
Yeah, I'd like Angie's comments on this one where, we may not divest as much time into these folks beyond the 6 months as far as personalized attention like we do some of our more warm or hot clients. And I do agree, just kind of let that thing run otherwise. And otherwise, if they're not opening it, maybe clean up after a period of time. But for those of us been in the business for a very long time, most of us have probably at some point or another, I know we've had many, where the client has held on to a mailer for a number of years until they were actually ready, whether it was a free CMA or whatever our cards or mailers had in them. But surprisingly, a lot of folks will really hang on to this stuff for quite some time. So I wouldn't necessarily discount that either. Just it's okay to put them on the back burner, and like Alga is saying here, perfect words also, just let it run. It's not hurting anything. They're not telling you to stop. But certainly if you get the unsubscribe, then you know where that's going.
Yeah, and what I would say is, Angie and Al and Linda, they all kind of hit the nail on the head. My advice is keep them on the list and keep them prospecting until they buy, until they die, or until they tell you bye-bye. So
did you just make that up?
Maybe. Bye, die, or bye-bye. So what does that mean? So if you've got somebody that you've been emailing, and like Don said, they haven't unsubscribed, and like Linda said, they haven't told you to stop, keep the email going. Does that mean that you're going to get on there? Dave said I'm a rapper. Does that mean you're going to get on there and you're going to try to contact the person who won't call you back once a week for the next 10 years? No way. At some point, you're going to say, hey, look, this guy or gal is not calling me back, but they've not unsubscribed, and I can see they're still opening my emails, so I'm going to keep sending it to them. Now, does that mean I never call them? No. Maybe I go and I check in with them once a quarter, whether they answer, but they're still getting my email. What if I don't have an email address from them? Okay, well, maybe once a month, we send out a text message campaign, and you can drop in a quick note to say, here's what's going on with the market. There's all kinds of drip campaigns you can do through text messaging. So the point is, stay in contact with them. If you're them and you get tired of somebody calling you, you're going to eventually say, hey, please don't call me anymore. If you're not getting that, keep them on your list.
And not only that, Mike, but as you do these drip campaigns, you'll see the cream of the crop float to the top. You'll get a hot list every time you go into Business Builder that will tell you hey, all these people have either searched, they've been on your website, they have clicked through, they've read all of that. This will sort your to-do list as far as contacting your database every single morning when you go into Business Builder.
I've got one example for you right now that late last year, we closed a transaction for a lady that I don't even remember how I met her. I think she walked into an open house that I held somewhere around 2012, something like that. And she was on my Buffini drip campaign, and I would do my things. I think I probably, in that period of time, I actually spoke to her 3 times maybe. She had some personal things happen, some medical things. And so she really kind of lost interest, but I kept her with my emails. I kept her with my letters in the mail. And out of the blue, she resurfaced and said, my husband and I aren't interested in buying, but we really appreciate you keeping us informed of what's going on. My daughter needs to sell her house. And we listed and sold that probably 3-4 months ago. And it didn't cost me anything. I just had her stuff going out along with everybody else's stuff. And it was at least 6-7 years from the time that I had met her, but the cost was negligible.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I think a big takeaway here is that you can fill the pipeline with, like what Linda said, rising cream of the crop will rise to the top. Another wrap line for you, Dave. And then you also have some stuff that's further down the line, so that as you're continuing through your career, you have those old ones that sprout up. You've got those quick ones that need you, next week. They want to write an offer today, those sorts of things. But you always have different things running at different seasons. And so that's the beauty of this, is that you can kind of harvest from planting all of these seeds across all these different timelines.
Yeah. And we've talked, every week, almost every day, about contacting your database. It's a perfect time to qualify your database. Put your former clients on this. If you're not using it, you've got some extra time to be able to do this. And if you need help offline, me and Donnie are more than welcome, or more than able to help you do this. One of the other things I wanted to show you real quick, I pulled up FSBOs that Donnie wanted. If everyone looks over here on the left, you can move these steps around. So like on this particular, if I were to set somebody up on this FSBO email, tomorrow they're going to get this first email from me. Well, but I think using a real estate professional to stage your home for maximum appeal, maybe I think that that's a better first impression. So I can take this and move it, and now it's step 1. So then you can change the time frame as well. So let's say this is going to be after day 1. Then 14 days later, they're going to get this. Then another 14 days later, it automatically prompts me and lets me know in my dashboard, hey, you need to make a phone call to so-and-so on the FSBO campaign. So you can move these around as you like them. You can delete them if you don't like them. So a lot of versatility this program gives you. And this is, obviously one of the business benefits of affiliating with Century 21. This program, depending on your features, is anywhere from $500 to $650 a month to use this program. So very expensive if you were to go off on your own and do it.
Yeah, so I just want to give everybody a couple of reminders real quick. Be sure for OpCity agents to keep your OpCity app open. Remember, for timing, for quick capture rates on those. Also, another reminder to keep the letter handy that Mike drafted for everyone, that it's okay to be out. I'm reading more and more, even locally now, that citations may be handing out. things like that. So they're getting a little bit more serious about this for those venturing around. And finally, maybe Chris and I will get together after this and see what day is available to maybe, if you guys have an interest on a quick a Zoom meeting on how to set up a Zoom meeting. So I know that we've talked about virtual stuff, but maybe some are encountering problems on how to make that happen. I know that with the iPhones that, we can do the FaceTime and so forth on there, but perhaps you need to pull in another family member, or there's multiple owners on properties, things like that. How do we accomplish that? And that would be through one of these same formats. So if we have some interest in that, maybe we'll set up one of those classes separate of these morning meetings for you as well. I know there's a few others that we want to do like this also as additional training other than just the morning meetings. We just had one for the Op City group as well. We would have liked more participation in there, quite frankly. But for those who are serious, who are logging in on these mornings, I really appreciate that you guys are doing that. Mm-hmm. It's important that we stay on top of this because otherwise, if we do nothing, whatever the date is that we come out of this, you're going to have the lag time from the time that you try to get going again until something can actually come to fruition. So we still want to stay ahead of the curve on this.
Anything else from Mr. Knight before we sign off for today?
No, I think that we've done a good job of covering everything. I just encourage everybody to use what you've learned, put it in practice, go out there and make sure that you're staying in contact with your clients and you're looking for deals. They're out there. Lots of deals are being put together. Make sure that you get your fair share.
Yeah, I think Nadia can contest that right now. She just did this deal in a few short days, and that's great to see that we have activity. Mm-hmm. And being a newer agent, that's super exciting for her also. I would just continue to remind everybody, take a few moments this morning even, do your texts out there, even though tomorrow is Text or Tech Tuesday. Every day, work on that. Don't forget the list that Chris sent you earlier about how to add to your contacts in areas that you may have forgotten that they're actually a contact for you. And then today, take some time for what you just learned this morning, if you haven't been in there either, and go into your contact database and start working on that. Even if it's just setting up a few, take some baby steps this morning, set up a few into the drip campaigns, and you're going to find how easy it really is.
And again, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. And with that, we are done, and we will see you guys tomorrow during Tech Tuesday.
All right. And I'll see you at 2 o'clock.
I have a question that's not really related to this, but I want to know how to put my little picture up there.
Put your little picture
the video.
Yeah.
Oh, that is in the main part.
It's in settings, but you have to do it from the desktop. I wasn't able to find out because I had my picture with the old Century 21 sign on there forever until somebody pointed it out the other day. So I dug around, and you have to go in through the desktop, log in to Zoom desktop, and then it's in settings and I think profile. It's super easy to do, just not from the app.
Okay, yeah, I'm on my, never mind. I'll ask later.
So I did see a great thing on the news last night. They were giving tips and tricks in for Zoom. I had heard that if you hold down the space bar for some seconds, I guess, that will unmute you, and then when you release, it will remute you for speaking. Haven't tried that one yet. The other one was apparently if you're hosting a Zoom meeting, you have in your settings function an ability to change your background setting to all kinds of things.
You do if your computer will virtually give you what's called a green screen, then you can. But yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, guys, we will see you tomorrow.
Hey, Donnie, what's up with 2 o'clock today?
No, that's for Chris and Mike and I.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great
day, guys.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye-bye.